Hello everybody. We're gonna make us some soup. First of all, I gotta get me some butter. Get that in the pot. That's probably enough. I gotta chop up an onion. See what size onion. I think that one's a pretty good size one right there. Ooh, that is some strong onion. Goodness gracious, my eyes are burning. Whew. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the burner on. Now this is another request that I had to do this. So there was another request for this recipe. Or at least for this. I don't know if it was my exact recipe, but whoa, boy, these little onions are strong. Whew. Oh my goodness. Let me turn this speaker off over here, because I don't want sounds coming through. But anyway, I'm chopping it up. Goodness gracious, those onions are strong. Put them right in there with my butter. And while that's sauteing, I'm going to chop up some celery. Well, I got an onion too. What did I do with my onion? I don't have leeks, but the next thing to them is my Egyptian walking onions. So I got one of those and I pulled all the outer stuff off of it, the leaves, and I cut most of the dark green leaves off. I want the tender green part of the leaves, and I'm going to chop that up and put it right in there. With the right knife to chop with. Grind, y'all. These are some strong onions and strong strong Egyptian onions and strong little white onions. Woo! Oh my goodness, my eyes, my poor eyes. I'm sure glad all the onions are cut now. Put them right in there. I'm going to cut up part of my celery. Oh, I got most of it already washed. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious, my eyes are burning. Oh man. I'll be right with you, y'all. Oh, My poor eyes. And I'm going to save this part because it's a real tender part of the celery to add in at last. And I've got some of the tops that are real tender. We'll get some of this other that I have already washed. I do have a couple of bad places, so I'll just cut those off. But you want the tenderest part of your celery. Oh, my goodness. Go ahead and wash this. That's bad looking down in there, so I'm just going to cut it off. Now, if I can get a lot of this out of the way so I can chop it. If it's real wide, I'm just going to cut it right down the center because I don't want great big pieces in there. And I'm going to put about two, I think I got way too much celery here, but that's okay. And I didn't even bring in the whole head of celery because it was just too massive. I only cut some of the outer part of it off and brought that in. I got about a cup. Pour that right in there and go ahead and saute it while I cut the rest of it up. I'm not even going to need all of the celery that I've cut. Oh well, I'll put it in the refrigerator and use it for something else. I'm only fixing about half of a recipe because the whole thing would just produce too much soup. And you can use the green part, you know, the leaves. If they look good, go ahead and use them. It'll just add color to your soup. And flavor, you know, the leaves taste just like the celery, so. Make it a mess. Yeah, I had somebody requested a celery soup, so that's what we're doing. And I've got probably a cup and a half here. Put that water in there. I'm going to need that in a minute. Since my eyes have stopped burning. Some butter on my spatula and on my spoon. I might put one more in there. Leaves and all. I got parsley over here that I'm going to chop up. Get this little bowl out of here. Put it in. A little bit of chopped parsley. I'm going to wash it off. I never liked chopping this stuff. I never could do a very good job at it. And that is parsley and celery right from my garden. And the onions were from my garden. Now you don't want to turn your burner up too high sauteing your onions and your celery, because you want your celery to get a little cooked. Before we actually make the soup part. In the meantime, I'm going to clean up some of this stuff. And you know what? I should have kept my my cutting board. Oh well, I'm going to cut it anyway, I guess. But I can eat that little bit of celery with tuna salad or something. I love celery with tuna salad. I like to put it in my tuna salad too. And I'll get my little compost bucket. And I'm going to put my onion and my celery clippings, right in there. I usually keep this down on the floor. Need to take it out and empty it because it's getting kind of full. And I empty it basically every day. Now I'm going to proceed to make 2 cups of chicken broth. Chicken broth with this bouillon. Teaspoon in for each cup. Okay, I'm going to add my 2 cups of chicken stock in there. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. I'm going to put a bay leaf in there. 1 bay leaf I think will be plenty. I got thyme. Put a little in that. I've got onion powder. I've got garlic, crushed garlic. Now, if you're using fresh garlic, and if it's a pretty good size clove, you only need 1. If it's a small one, you need to put 2 in there. I'm putting about a teaspoon of garlic, crushed garlic in mine. And we need to bring that to a boil. Let it cook until my celery is done. Oh, let me see what I'm doing. I'm just going to put that in there. It's going to be good. And putting the dark celery with the celery leaves, it's going to give it a darker look. It's not going to be like a creamy white look. It's going to be like a green look. Now we got to cook that. Oh, you know, I was supposed to cook that remaining celery that I just put in there separately. Oh well, we'll do that. I got more up here. And you'll understand why I'm doing this at the end. I knew I kept celery out for some reason. I said, well, I knew I had celery enough to put in there. I don't know why I didn't have any left. Hope you can see everything I'm doing. This is a big one. I'm going to cut it in half. But I'm going to get it in about as small a pieces as I can chop. As thin a slices as I can do it because it'll cook faster. I knew I saved that celery out for a reason. Now we need more butter. A dab will do you. And we'll turn this on. Okay, I didn't taste that for salt. But we're basically going to braise this celery in this butter. And that's going to be added to our soup later. Y'all, I got to turn my exhaust fan on. It's getting too hot in here. Pull some of this heat out. I got to taste this for seasoning. Tastes pretty good. Y'all, I'm getting my immersion blender out of here. It's behind some pots. Because we're going to be using this in a little bit. And we're going to take a little bit of liquid out of this pot, if I can do it without burning myself. That's good. But we're just going to cook this down a little bit. Let me move the camera back so you can see what I'm doing. But I just put the last celery that I chopped in my butter. I sauteed it for just about 1 or 2 minutes. And then I poured about a half a cup of broth from the pot into the pan. And we're just going to braise that, let it cook a little bit, because we'll add that to the soup later. And I may need just to add a little bit more water to my pot since I took some out, because that's going to cook down. Now we're going to cook this for about 15 minutes and we'll come back. Well, it's been cooking for about 15 minutes. I'm going to turn our braised celery off as well. This needs to kind of cool down a little bit before I can do anything with it. I'm going to take the bay leaf out because we're not going to puree that. Don't know if it's going to work really well in this pot because it's not that thick with, I mean, it's only like a ½ inch thick in the bottom of the pot. So I don't know how well this is going to work. I guess you could take it out and put it in a blender and then add it back to the pot. But I'm going to try this because it said to use an immersion it says to use one of these, so that's what I'm going to use. I just don't want it to jump out at me. Whew. I don't know about this, y'all. I may need to put it in something smaller. Well, this side is rotating. Jumped out at me. I don't know how to work to use it this way. I think it might work better if it was deeper. My liquid was deeper. But at least it's not throwing it out of the pot. It's not throwing it out yet. I think this particular celery that I'm using probably would have worked better. Just to put it in the blender. Maybe if it was a little bit deeper, it would work better too. So I'm going to get my blender, y'all. I think that's going to work a lot better. I dropped everything in the floor over here. Yeah, I think it will work better with the blender, with my celery anyway. And then we'll put it back in the pot. Just have to be careful because it is hot. It is extremely hot. And I need to wipe that pot off. And I'm only making enough for 2 bowls basically, because I'm only fixing like half of a recipe. So if you want to do it, just double the recipe and you'll have like 4 or 5 bowls. But I'm doing it this way. Like I said, if I'd had more in the pot, it would have worked better. Ooh, it smells good. It really does. Yeah, I should have had it in a bigger pot. I mean, not a bigger pot, a smaller pot. That immersion blender would have worked great if I'd have had it in a smaller pot. There. Now we're going to turn the burner back on slightly. We're going to add our braised celery into the mix. So the first part that you cooked is all pureed that was in the pot. And then that you had in the pan that you braised goes in last, because you want some celery chunks in there, but you don't want as many as, you know, the whole thing. And now we're going to take about a half a cup of sour cream. Now some of you use heavy cream. Go right ahead. I'm using this because I try to not eat heavy cream because I'm allergic to the fat. So we're going to put in sour cream. What I think is about a half a cup. And we're just going to heat it through. I think that's about a half a cup. It's looking good. can put a third or a half a cup, either one you'd like. But I'm just making sure I get all my sour cream mixed up in here. And give it a taste. Oh my goodness. That is so good. It's got plenty enough salt, so you certainly don't need to add any salt. I might add a little bit of black pepper. Stir it up. Turn the heat off. I got me a bowl back here. Oh, that looks good, y'all. Let's come back so you can see my bowl when I'm putting my cream of celery out there. See, my recipe makes about 2 bowls of cream of celery soup, which is plenty for me. And to serve it, we're going to add just a little bit of our chopped parsley. What do y'all think? You think that looks like cream of celery soup? Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look at that, y'all. Taste. It's really good. Dear Lord, bless this soup I'm about to eat. And bless all the YouTubers out there that are watching. And a little bit of parsley on there. There you go. Y'all take the first spoonful. That is some really good celery soup. Y'all, you need to try it. This is some really good celery soup right here. Homemade celery soup. It'll probably be the best celery soup you've ever eaten. It sure tastes good to me. And I like the idea of leaving some of the celery at the last, add it back in, you know, chopped whole, instead of just pureeing the whole thing. I mean, you can puree the whole thing, but I like the idea of putting the little celery pieces back in there. Not a whole lot, but there's some in there, and it's really good that way. So, y'all try this recipe. I think you'll love it. Quick and easy. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. I'll see you on the next one, and love y'all. Bye now.